What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Bricks and Toys. And in today's episode, we went January 2026 Lego shopping. And man, I really want to open up the floor right off the rip here and ask you guys if any of you guys went to the Lego store this January 1st, and maybe you went last year. Was it busier this year than in prior years? Because I'm going back through some old photos and thumbnails, and I don't think I've ever seen a Lego line like this besides when Las Vegas opened up their second Lego store. And even that line wasn't as crazy as today. What I'm getting at is, what the hell dropped today? I know January had some awesome sets. I think I got some of them down here. Awesomeness is subjective, but the line at my personal Lego store in Roseville, California was so freaking long. If you consider an average mall storefront is about 25 to 30 feet in width, and the line went down 10 storefronts to the other half of the main part of the mall. Yeah, that's like 300 feet of people. Insanity. Me personally, I was stuck probably about 100 feet in line at my Lego store. It took me from 10 o'clock, so I showed up at 9. I was already 100 feet deep in the line. Store opens up at 10, and I didn't get into the store until about 11 o'clock. So to go through 100 feet of customers, it took them 1 hour of letting people in a little bit at a time. And then once I got in, I grabbed my number one set, and because the whole time I'm going through this Lego experience this month, I'm just thinking to myself, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to go through this? This is insanity. But I said, let's get in there, and if they have this one set, then we'll move on to the next sets, and we'll see how many of the 10 to 15 sets that you want it we'll be able to actually get. And so I got in about 11 o'clock, went right to Marvel, grabbed that number one set. For sure, you all already know what number one Marvel set I'm talking about. I think we all can agree that that set was amazing. If not, you'll see it here in a little bit. And they had that one set. And so then I moved on to the next important, until I actually was able to make a pile. Now, to check out of my Lego store took over 30 minutes. So you have 1 hour waiting for the store to open, 1 hour to get into the store, over 30 minutes to check out with your purchases, and you're finally free to go home and relish in your financial decisions of doing this. But anyway, while I was waiting in line, it was so crazy and busy that I didn't have any help with me today. All my helpers decided to sleep in, so I had to do this solo. I made a pile in the back of the store. I asked the worker to keep an eye on my pile, to which he nodded, like, yep, I got you. Perfectly normal. People do this all the time. And then as I'm in line, waiting 30 minutes, I'm seeing people walk up to my pile and go, oh, look, there's that set. And they're taking from my pile. So I find myself, as I'm in line for 30 minutes, telling the people behind me, hey, you mind if I drop out of line and cut back in just for a second? Somebody took another set out of my pile, and now I got to go and grab another copy. So when I get to the register, I can check out with all of my purchases. It was so crazy that every time I go and I do this, I have a checklist on my Android phone, and I check the sets off as I go along. I had to go back through, uncheck all of the sets that I originally checked off my list, and as we were being rung up at the cash register, or I was being rung up, I was checking them back off one last time just to make sure nobody swiped anything else off of my pile. Thankfully, everything that got swiped, I was able to put back. So overall, what was my Lego experience today? Almost a 10 out of 10, minus all of the people. I wish I could really film what I saw today for you guys. But if you guys went to your own Lego store today, you guys may already know or have seen a remarkably large line that you're not used to yourselves. But if you guys are new to the channel and you guys are wondering, why didn't you film any of this craziness? Well, the reason is, and I've been over it for over the last year and a half, there is a crazy store manager at that store, and she flips at any sight of the camera. So I've just learned to keep things within my studio against my better wishes. And it's not nothing to do with kids or anything like that. I honestly think she's covering up the fact that she doesn't really run her store all that well, and she just gets mad when I film things because as the film goes onto the internet and it shows what displays are not put up and what's not stocked and so forth and so on. That's why we have this problem. So I wish I could have filmed the line and all of the hecticness, but you know what? It is what it is. Now, the crazy thing is, you would think after I got out of there that the line would have stopped growing. No. But actually, when I went into the store, the line was all the way down to the nearest anchor store. And when I got out of the Lego store, that line was still all the way to the anchor store. So people were coming in even at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at this point and trying to get the latest of the latest. I really wish everybody the best here in the Sacramento area on getting their Lego sets. I hope everybody got what they wanted. So before we get into the giant haul, what do we think caused this major influx of customers at the Lego store on January the 1st? For me, I think it was Stranger Things. I really do think it was Stranger Things. You mix a Stranger Things, the Krill house, mixed in with the new Shopping Street modular, and you have two buildings that people want really bad. And I saw the Krill house. It looks pretty cool. I actually saw some new elements in that set. It's just not for me, but it was for a lot of people. Now, I am going to open up my computer over here. That way I can see my Lego receipt and tell you guys the prices of these sets as we go along. And how much money did we spend today? Well, let's just say we sold Death Star for about $1 to $1,100. We bought $1,000 to $1,100 worth of Lego. So we took one and switched it out with mini. And that's what I basically said in my Outlook video just a couple days ago. If you're going to borrow credit for Lego, borrow credit for Lego in the sense of mini sets, 15 to 20 sets, not just one. It's really dumb to do just one, because once you're done with that one, then what else is there? At least with this, I will be probably going up until March, if not beyond March, making review videos for you guys on what I have. Got my bags here on the floor. Let's get to work. So kicking off, we're going to start with the cheapest Lego set I purchased, minus the GWPs, since those are gift with purchase. But this is our BrickHeadz of Angel. This girl was $12.99, so we have officially went up, what, $3 with our BrickHeadz. They're usually about $9.99 for a single BrickHead. Now they're $12.99, so I'm going to guess in the future, when we get 5-packs and all of that, expect it to be about $15 more than what we're usually used to. But for today, we got at least one BrickHeadz. Set number 40922, 10 and older, like I said, Angel with 133 pieces, and she's going to go really well with Stitch, as this is Stitch's friend. Now, speaking of Lego inflation, we have our next set. Who remembers when battle packs were, what, around $15-ish or less? Well, now they're $22.99, and that's going to be for set number 75449, the Siege of Mandalore Battle Pack. This comes with 4 minifigures, basically 2 332s, and some Mandalorian Super Commandos. Overall, this looks to be some small builds, some cool minifigures for $22.99. They're not getting any cheaper, are they, guys? Keeping on theme with Star Wars, this is one that I was super excited for. This one does set you back $64.99. It is the AT-AT MIDI scale. So now we're moving out of starships into general vehicles from Star Wars with that MIDI scale. And this set to me is just perfect, as the AT-AT can be such a large Lego set. And if you are in a confined space like I am currently, bookshelf size sets like this are just a perfect substitute for the meantime. Set number 75440, 525 pieces. Is it expensive? Yes. Is it an AT-AT? Yes. But does it get even better? Yes, because it even has a little snow speeder going around it, getting ready to trip its legs like we see in The Empire Strikes Back. Now this one, again, comes with that very high Star Wars tax, and that is at $79.99 for set number 75441 with 643 pieces now. But this is the MIDI scale Venator class attack cruiser. Now, if you guys remember, if you guys are long-term supporters of my channel, I had the UCS Venator, but knowing that I was moving into this 800 square foot apartment with my family, I had to say farewell to it, and it was very, very heartbreaking, as I loved that Clone Wars era ship so dang much. But thankfully, Lego's got my back this year, as now we have the MIDI scale version of it, and I couldn't be any more happier to have this in my collection. And now I can say I have my Lego Venator once again. It may not be the size of my building desk here, but it's a Venator for the 18 and older crowd, and the detail just looks really impeccable. So we're going to take on all of the Speed Champions all at once, instead of pulling each of these out and kind of describing the same thing 6 times over. And each of these Speed Champions vehicles does set you back $27.99. So we are maintaining that $27.99 price tag that we got, I believe, last year into this year. So thankfully that has not gone up. So let's go through each of these relatively quickly. Starting off with 77252. The APX GP team race car from the F1 movie. Then we move into the Bugatti Vision Gran Turismo 77253, 284 pieces. This one is 268 pieces. Then we move into our Ferrari SF90XX Stradale, set number 77254 with 339 pieces. Then the one I'm really excited for is the Lightning McQueen 77255 with 270 pieces. And then to go with your full-size time machine from 2022 already, we have the time machine from Back to the Future 77256 with 357 pieces, with 2 minifigures of Doc and Marty, which is awesome. And then lastly, to wrap up these 6, is the 77257 McLaren W1 with 287 pieces. These are all 6 of the new Speed Champion sets you can purchase from Lego as of January the 1st, 2026. And I don't know which one I'm more excited for. I do know that the least excited is the F1 movie F1 car, but I kind of felt like that kind of had to get in here. I love the Cars one. I think Lightning McQueen might be at my top, as I already have the Icons Time Machine already, but the Time Machine in the smaller scale is actually pretty cool. So for this next set, if the Lego Semi-Truck City set was too much or too big for you, well, for $29.99, you can pick up this brand new Lego themed van, set number 60500 with 276 pieces. This thing looks really freaking cool. And if you do have the Lego semi-truck from a couple years ago, I think this will pair really, really well. And it'll give you another palette or so of Lego sets in the little printed little tile form. And also one more from the Lego City theme is going to be the Fry's food truck. This one is $19.99, 216 pieces, set number 60488. And again, it looks like that old school vintage type food truck look, and the fries cart on the back actually does come off of the back of the truck, kind of like how it does with the burger stand that we got. Now we have the burger truck and the fries truck. I think that's just going to be a really awesome pairing. And with that, guys, we have finally departed our first bag. Now our next bag is not that full. We're almost through it, but I do have our next set, which is going to be the 7499 set number 42223, the 793 piece Ford GT Mark II. This is one that I have been drooling over ever since I saw the original promo photos of it. I don't know what it is about the GT40, whether it's the new version, the old version, the Ford GT. I just really like this type of supercar. Now this one goes back into the 1960s Le Mans race of where they had the 1, 2, 3 finish. I'm not sure which one this one is. I think it's the winning car. I'll figure that out when I get into the video. It is oddly priced at $74.99, so we're not at that $64.99 or the over $100 price tag. So not quite sure why. Maybe it's because of licensing, but that's for a later video to figure all that out. Speaking of the larger pricing, this is the $64.99 771 piece Bugatti Chiron Pure Sport, set number 42222, 9 and older, and it is carrying on the Play and Asphalt Legends. I overall think this looks like a really nice build, and it is carrying on that higher price tag of the original $50 cars. And like I already said, I'm pretty sure that these two are the same scale, but I'm not quite sure why there's a $10 gap between the two, but we will figure that out for a later day. Continuing on with Technic, we had one that it's kind of hard to buy things like this nowadays because of money issues and things like that. But there just comes a time when you see a type of Technic vehicle that looks so damn cool and you gotta build it. And that's going to be this one right here. This one is $149.99. It is the Porsche 911 GT3R Rexy AO Racing car. This is set number 42224 with 1,313 pieces. Now, this is, like I said, $149.99, so we're kind of up from the $129.99 price tag that we're used to for sets kind of like the Skyline and the Ford GT from a few years ago. I think this one's going to fall on that scale, so it's not going to be as big as, say, the almost $200 or over $200 Technic vehicles. But we will find out when we get into the video of how big this thing really is. But I just really love the dinosaur theme and that bright green, and I just thought I couldn't pass it up. It had to come home. And now with that, we are officially coming to the end of our road here. Our next set is going to be one of my top 3 sets, if I can get it out of the dang box. And it's a plain box. Let's go ahead and let's open this up so I can show you guys what's inside of this plain box. So this is going to be our new Lego modular of 2026. Now this is one that I went back and forth on, but I just have to be honest, when I started doing Lego, it started with the Star Wars, quickly moved into vehicles, and then when I started this channel, I started building the A-frame cabin, and I just fell in love with buildings, just with the other two. Every year, I always tell myself, you don't have a Lego city no more. Do you really want to do the modular? And the answer is, yeah. I really cannot resist building the new modulars. So this year, it's called the Shopping Street. It is set number 11371. With a astounding 3,456 pieces. So we are getting a lot of pieces crammed into these sets compared to the earlier ones. And this does set you back $249.99 for this set. And it does look familiar to another modular building. We will discuss that in a later video. But this does open up our first GWP out of 2 that we did get this year, and that is the Vintage Parade Car, set number 40913 with 243 pieces. So $249 gets you both of these sets for the limited time. as you guys know how it is with Lego, I really was kind of sold on this set because of the GWP, because I really like these little tiny cars that go with the modulars, and I've had to sell so many of my modular buildings that I think I only have the downtown diner that comes with like the old pink Cadillac. That's the only one that I have left with a car besides the Daily Bugle, which comes with a taxi. So it's nice to get a new modular with a GWP car and get another car on my modular shelf. And speaking of GWPs, there are one more GWP, and it's going to be for purchases of $70 or more. And it's just the traditional, we get this every year, just a different theme. This is going to be 40779, the year of the horse, with 133 pieces. And of course, it's got the tag, so you can gift it, whatever you want to do. To me, I'm just probably going to keep this new in box and set it on one of my shelves and just whatever about it. Now we have our last set, and this is the set that really told me, get that Death Star out of here. We have some fresh-ish coming. We got to do this. And that is the Marvel Iron Man Mark III Collector's Edition, whatever the hell you want to call it in whatever series. It's the Iron Man. I mean, oh boy. This one makes me all happy inside. Now this set will cost you $129.99, and it does have 1,297 pieces, and it is set number 76344, and it's just, for one, I'm really happy to be able to buy a model like this. I think Iron Man is like one of my #1 favorite superheroes next to Batman. They're kind of like the same but for different franchises. If you guys kind of know, you know what I'm trying to say when I say that. This is just so cool to me. And with that, guys, that is our complete haul. I don't want to sit here and talk too much about each of these because each of these will have their own little review video. Except for the Speed Champions, that might be 2 review videos, but for everything else, it'll have its own video. And I don't know how soon the first review video is going to be up. I do kind of have a little weird work schedule that I'm trying to work through. It's kind of like on a day, off a day, until we get through the holidays, and then it should be back to normal to where I can have 2 days off to focus on doing this. But you know what? I do have lots of energy after work when I get done after my 8-hour day, so there's always time to film after work. So which one of these will be our next review video? Well, guys, that's when I tell you guys. Make sure to hit the subscribe button to follow along with every single thing that we do. As usual, if you know a friend that might like this video, share it with them. Hit the thumbs up, the like button, that always helps. Drop comments down below. Maybe you guys have a suggestion about which one you'd like to see reviewed first, and if not, it'll definitely be second. Let me know how your January 1st shopping haul went and what sets you picked up, and on that one, we'll see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching.